Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Friday Live from PCC, coming to you live from our beautiful Pasadena City College campus. I'm your host, India B, and I hope you're ready for another great guest. We have in store for you today legendary Grammy-nominated hip-hop producer, Rhythm D. Welcome, Rhythm.
Thanks for having me.
For those of you who aren't aware of Rhythm D's work, he's worked with several artists, such as Eazy-E, Snoop Dogg, Mac 10, Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, and was nominated for a Grammy for his work of production on Diddy by Paperboy. Where are you from, and how did you get the name Rhythm D?
I am from South Central LA, which is South Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I got the name Pop Lockin' about like maybe 14, around the time when hip hop kind of like really, came into the big scene of America.
So you were there for the inception of hip hop?
Yes, very much so. But I was young. I was, being 12, 14, heard Planet Rock and just decided to, I wanted to be behind the scenes as a music producer, but that was only a dream at the time, and now here I am.
Hearing Planet Rock, is that what got you into music, or how did you actually get into the music industry?
I got into the music industry during high school, so probably like my junior year, I started meeting different managers and
managers in high school, or?
Yeah, in high school, I would,
or professors?
Let me start from the beginning. I was always into music since I was 5 years old. I used to listen to Quincy Jones records and a lot of big band music. My dad was a little bit older, so when my parents had me, they were, already full steam ahead with their life, and they introduced me to a lot of really great jazz. And so that's when I really wanted to create music, is by hearing everybody from Dizzy Gillespie to Quincy Jones to Ray Charles, and that was my inspiration. I didn't know what I was doing, but when I was young, about I'd say maybe 5, 6 years old, my mom bought me a piano, and I could like really hear all of the old school TV show themes. And so one of them was was it Starsky? No, it was SWAT. There was a theme song called SWAT back in the 70s. And I used to play it on the piano. So my mom comes in and she's listening, and she's like, this actually sounds exactly like what is on TV. So she saw that I had an ear to replay whatever I heard naturally. I didn't have any formal training.
At that?
Yeah, about 5 or 6 years old. And then I started entering into little, high school contests. I mean, not high school, but junior high contests later on, and started winning those, playing the piano, and it just went on and on from there, and it just became my passion since I was a baby. So. Okay,
but how did you make your way into the industry?
Well, first, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Mm-hmm. So I started finding out that you had to have equipment. And the first piece of equipment that I needed was an SP1200.
SP1200.
Yeah, which is a drum machine, right, that was used in all of hip hop back then. Mm-hmm. And that was real expensive. So I started having different managers, and I found one manager that was actually able to afford to buy me one. And I signed a contract with him, and to me, that was my
How old were you when you first signed your first record deal?
I'd say about 17. It was it was a management contract.
That was a management contract.
It was a management contract.
Okay, so how old were you when you signed your first official record deal?
I was 22 when I signed my first.
So it took you about 5 years of working from that management contract to actually sign a record deal.
Yes.
At 22.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so during that interim, you were just honing your craft.
Yeah, I was practicing and learning how to create hip hop beats. The technology wasn't where it's at now, so it took a lot more.
Everything was analog.
Yeah, everything was analog.
Okay.
Wasn't a lot of sampling time. Was no auto tune. It was, but miss what you don't know that you're gonna get.
So you were sampling off of the actual album?
Yeah, that was a whole different ball game. I would get records, old records, take all my dad's records. I had like crates and crates of, you know, jazz and blues, and I would sample and make hi-hats and kick drums and just try to mimic what I would hear from the older guys that were doing hip hop before me, from Marley Marl to you name it, Larry Smith that did all of Houdini's music, and you know, these are the people that I looked up to as producers, you know. So I just started building my craft and my skill level, and that kind of helped me progress. You know, once I found that manager that bought me the equipment, then I got better and better, and I was able to take it all the way there, you know.
Now, you said you signed your first official record deal at 22, and what company was that with?
That was with Polygram. It was a record label called Next Plateau, and they were distributed by Polygram, and that was on the artist named Paperboy. And that was mid-1992. I signed my first record deal.
And where were you the first time you heard the song you produced by Paperboy on the radio? And what radio station, do you remember?
I was at Smokey Robinson's house.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was at Smokey Robinson's house and had a group of friends. We were all like the ghetto version of 90210. You know, but you know, a lot of famous stars that have become great actors now. We were all in this little clique. And
so you were there with Smokey, or?
No, he wasn't there. This was around, I would say, this was a little bit before the riots. So we're all sitting out on the, you know, on his.
Now, when you say
pool.
we all.
Yeah, my whole crew. I had a whole crew.
So Smokey and just invited you guys over to his house without him being there?
Well, at the time, Smokey Robinson's daughter was a good friend of mine.
Oh, I
she was
see.
in the
Okay,
clique.
I see.
So, you know, I'm leaving out some.
Right. I was
stuff.
like, well, how did you get to Smokey's house?
Yeah, but his daughter, Tamala Robinson, she was a really good friend of mine, and we all had like a big clique of friends, you know.
Okay.
And we were at his house. I think we were barbecuing during the summer, and the song came on the radio, and everybody was excited. Power 106.
Power 106.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was on a station. It was on like a segment of the show called Whack It or Track It, where they would put two different songs up against each other, and the ditty just kept winning and winning and winning, and
until it won all over the
until
country.
it got taken out. You know,
Yeah,
I think we finally lost against EPMD's Keep Your Crossover, but but we were up against a lot of artists that came out, and that song just picked up, and then all of a sudden we got offered a deal with Polygram.
So you heard the song before you got the record deal?
Yeah, because
I see now.
A friend of mine named John Ferguson, he put the money into getting the ditty, getting the marketing and promotion on the ditty going. So it was an indie record at first. It was all independent.
Oh, I see.
And he had the connections to the radio to get it heard. So the DJs were playing it before we even had a deal, you know. And that's what, you know, that was the plus of that. And by it winning on Whack It or Track It, it made noise all over, you know, from the West
nation.
Coast to the East Coast.
Absolutely.
Because Power 106 is a really big station. And the guy by the name of Eddie O'Oughlin, he owned the label Next Plateau, which had Salt and Pepper and I think Heavy D and a few other artists. It was like a really big hip hop label, and they wanted to sign Paperboy and put the song out, and that's the story. You know, all of a sudden,
well, that's part of the
that's
story.
part
because
of the
you
story.
have a lot more.
Yeah, I have
to your story.
a lot more.
Such as, how did you start working with Eazy-E, and what is the most memorable experience during that time of working with Eazy?
Okay, so I started working with Eazy-E via being on Death Row Records. So
you took Dr. Dre's place.
Yes, but it's a backstory to that. So this story goes all the way back to me meeting Suge Knight before anybody knew who Suge Knight was. His cousin, which was a girl by the name of Tammy, and she had a rap name called Sparkle. And she tells me, she's like, yo, I you know, you got some dope beats for him. You need to meet my cousin. He's got a label he started. And I'm like, okay. So I had met up with so many people about doing music for him. I was like, what the heck? Let me go meet up with this guy and see what he's all about. So I was doing some music for her at the time, and she gave him my number, and we ended up linking up at the Fat Burger over off of Lancashire out here in Cali. And when I met him, he comes out, he's like, what kind of burger you want? I'm finna get a double, and I'm like, all right, this is Suge, yeah. So he comes out, we hit it off real good. We sit there and talk for about an hour, and he was like, yeah, I got this label, but he never said anything about it being Dr. Dre and his label. He was just like, this is my label, and I had no idea who he was. So this was like all around the time when the Diddy was blowing up, okay?
Did you already know Dr. Dre at that point?
Never met him ever.
You had not met him yet?
I just met Suge.
You just met Suge,
yes.
Okay.
So it was all about me getting work at the time, because when you're a producer, you want to have what is called a track record. So the
literally
more,
and figuratively.
Definitely, because the more, it's like being a lawyer, the more cases that you win, the more you can charge, because you have a track record of, this is what you do. So I really sought after that. And I was like, well, if I can get a song over here on this artist and a song on that one, then my name will start floating around. And ended up meeting Suge, and he offered me a position over there to work at Death Row. But like I said, I didn't know that was Death Row. After that,
so he just offered you a position without saying
the
name.
He was like, meet up with me at this date, and I'll set you up to where you can start working with some of the artists on my label. And time passed a little bit after that. You know how it doesn't happen right away. And the Diddy just kept blowing up and blowing up and blowing up until finally I signed that paperwork to do the whole album on Paperboy. And that was my first record deal as I was trying to be on Death Row.
That's incredible. So you really didn't even need Death Row.
I didn't need
to blow up.
I didn't know that. See, it's like you have to believe in yourself, because there's something that you might want, but the universe will take you into a whole different area of what you need. So as I'm being over at Death Row, I back up a little bit.
Because we're talking about, I asked you a question, I believe, about Easy.
Yeah, okay, so all of this is leading up to how I'm meeting Easy, okay? So I don't see Suge for a minute, and all of a sudden, I run into the Lady of Rage.
Okay.
Didn't know who she was, but she comes with another female rapper to my house, and I'm playing beats, and she walks in, she's like, damn, you super dope. You need to meet Dr. Dre. And I was like, yeah, I need to meet Dr. Dre. and she had on like this, I think she had Dre's jacket on from Ruthless.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, you really know Dre? She was like, yeah, I'm signed to his label. It's called Death Row. And I was like, well, let me, now mind you.
You didn't even know.
I didn't
you were signed to Death Row.
Yeah, so anyway, so I'm looking at Rage. She's like, I'm gonna connect you with.
You didn't read that paperwork then very
No,
well.
I didn't know I hadn't signed the Death Row.
You hadn't signed it yet?
No, I just met Suge.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they even knew each other.
So all this is happening
all at the same
time.
Yeah,
That's
all
incredible.
at the same time.
Well,
so,
the music industry is very small anyway.
Very, very small. So I meet Dre through Suge. I meet a guy by the name of this really dope engineer named John Payne. Suge has me meet up with him because Rage calls Suge. And I'm like, oh, so you know Suge? He was like, yeah, it's his label. So then I'm like, okay. So before anybody knew that there was gonna be a Death Row, I was right in the middle of it, right in the beginning. And through my dealings with Death Row, I run into Eazy's baby mama. And the universe is funny. I'm over there as they're dissing Dr. Dre.
Wow.
I'm around during the whole Chronic. I actually produced a song called Down With My Ninja.
That's Paradise.
Yeah,
and that was on
Paradise.
the Deep Cover soundtrack.
The Deep Cover soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
I appreciate it.
Great soundtrack.
And that was the introduction to Snoop.
Okay.
And so all of this goes
Snoop
down.
was co-writing.
Yeah, Snoop co-wrote.
I read all your Wikipedia. So.
He co-wrote, him and 3-2 from the Ghetto Boys, they both co-wrote Down With My
Down With Your Ninja.
And it ended up being on the soundtrack. And of course, that's where Deep Cover came out, and it introduced Snoop to the world. And then after that, I turned on the radio and I heard the Diddy on Kiss FM, which is a serious pop
so
station.
Yeah, that's total pop.
And I was like, I already got my niche. I've already got a hit record. So I didn't need to be on death row. I really wanted to be my own entity, my own self. My passion was to get Rhythm D out, not to be up under anybody or, you gotta, when, like Kobe said, if you are that, then you be that.
Then you be that.
Fear no man if you are that too. So it just pushed me even deeper into becoming who I was as a producer and getting my sound out. I had a hit record on the radio, and that's what led me to being introduced to Eazy's baby mama, Tracy. And
who introduced you subsequently?
Yeah, she was rapping.
Okay.
So, so here it goes. A girl at Death Row that I thought was cute introduced me to Tracy.
Okay.
And she's like my
So all the girls are just passing you along, you got to meet this guy, you got to meet this guy.
For the beats.
It sounds like girls have been very instrumental, women have been very instrumental.
All my life.
In your career.
All my life. I come from a family of sisters.
Okay, so strong women.
Strong women, really strong mom, super silent, strong dad, you know what I mean? But so I ended up meeting Tracy, and she was rapping at the time. I didn't even know her baby daddy was Eazy, because I ended up producing some music for her, and I was doing such a good job at it. She would just be like, hey, you need to meet my baby daddy. He needs you. And I would be like, well, who's your baby daddy? She'd be like, let's finish my music. She wouldn't tell me till after I produced maybe like the 5th song. And one night, we're banging it out in the studio, and everybody's happy, and they're listening to the song, and she goes, I'm gonna tell you who my baby daddy is. And she told me it was Eazy-E. So now I had a choice. So it was like, okay,
choose what side.
That part.
Left or right.
It was like, okay, if you're a basketball player, you can be on the team where you're not the star, or you can be on the team where you're the franchise player, even if they're a losing team. So I chose to be a franchise player instead of being on the winning team, and it paid off. So
you chose to be your own man.
Yes, but signing to Ruthless, it was the team that was up against the winning team.
Right.
So it wasn't losing in no way in the industry, but the popularity of what Death Row was doing was taking the shine away from Ruthless as a label.
Wow, that's a lot of history.
Yeah. So ended up meeting Eazy, and Eazy became like my little big brother, because he's way shorter than me. So.
What's your favorite memory of working with Eazy?
We used to go shopping during Christmas, and anytime I would pull out my credit card, he would say, and he would pay for everybody's Christmas gifts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because he was really generous.
Super generous. Like I never paid for anything. Yeah, probably one of the coolest dudes from NWA, and
I saw a clip of Snoop recently, and he said that he wished he had a role with Eazy as an adult man. Did you ever see that clip of Snoop saying that?
No, I didn't. I never seen that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh, dope.
It really, he said that.
That's dope.
He said the person that Eazy was, looking back on it, he said now as an adult man, he said he wished he had a role with Eazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he still would have been Snoop.
He still would have been Snoop.
Yeah, it didn't
way.
matter, but I think at the end of the day, I think the combination of him and Dr. Dre's music and the cinematics and just what he gave to hip hop set him on the forefront,
What do you think is the best song you ever recorded so far in your history?
That's a tough one.
And why?
I would say as far as popularity, and I've got to go with a couple. It would do the other ones injustice based on what type of music it is. I would say the Diddy for sure, by going into being a pop record, and Real Compton City G's one of the biggest diss records of all time. Producing that for Eazy-E was a complete blessing from the universe. Like I never knew that was going to happen based on the moves that I was making in the industry. So those two records are what
solidified your name,
set my career off.
And why did they call you the Genie?
Because I can do any type of music. I can produce and arrange anything from hip hop to R&B to EDM to dubstep to you name it. I've been blessed with that gift. You know what I mean? That's something that's like a superpower. So every day I wake up.
So you're not just limited like some other producers
No.
in your niche. You can go
Anywhere.
the gamut.
Yeah. Well, see, it's the difference between a producer and a beat maker. Right now, making beats is very popular. It's changed. The technology has made it to where you can fake it a lot. That's the difference between my era and the era now. Now everything is given to you. You know, take these million sounds. You know what I'm saying? Now they even cornied it out to where you can buy verses. There's like a app that you can just take verses and put them together to make.
You are, stop it. So there people aren't even writing their own
No,
songs.
there's an app for that.
No.
Like you take this
That's
verse and put it
terrible.
with this one and make your own song.
I mean,
It's
that just kind of kills
Yeah.
the whole creativity vibe.
that part. That's why everything kind of sounds the same. Like it's on this, you know, this steering wheel that's turning around. It's all kind of like cookie cutter. But I love the technology because I knew
it's changed a lot since analog, right?
Yes.
The analog days.
all day.
So how do you think you could become a better musician if there is such a thing, and how would you go about doing that?
I want to learn to read music. Everything that
You don't know how to read
No.
music? Stop.
I just know how to create it.
No, stop.
Yeah.
So you do everything by ear.
Yeah, all that looks like
You know, they said Elvis was like that.
I
Elvis
can't-
Presley could not read. So all that playing, singing,
that's
nothing.
just
He
off.
could.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, if you put notes in front of me, it looks like hieroglyphics. And I was just like,
Wow.
you know, and I think maybe it's a reason for that. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
it might stifle your creativity
That
to
part.
know how to read it.
yeah, because I don't have any.
I did not know that.
I don't
about
have any
you.
rules. I just go
Right.
off of emotion and what I feel. You know.
That's crazy.
So
Wow,
yeah, when I was
that's
little, I would
deep.
just hear it and be like, okay, that's SWAT. Let me play that on the piano.
So you really want to learn.
Yeah, I want to learn. I'm gonna go to school to
Well,
get,
hey,
to get my doctorate.
look where you're at, PCC. You
Yeah.
need to be right
Yeah,
here
I just
learning
want
how
to learn. Yeah.
to read music.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this is a question I'm sure all the ladies want to know.
There you go.
If you could, are you dating anybody right now?
No, I'm single.
You're single.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
single for a reason.
Oh, okay.
I have to
And
stay-
what is that reason?
To stay focused.
So you're like a Tesla now. I heard Tesla never got married just to
I
stay
feel
focused on
I can feel him on that, you know, because I love hard.
his creativity.
I
and
love
his
too hard.
Scientific knowledge.
Yeah. I feel that I am the Nikola Tesla of beats. Like I wake up every day thinking about them, different sounds. I'm looking for the perfect beat to change the course of music, and that's what I think about. You know, and it's always been like this since I was a baby. So I don't know if anybody could deal with that.
So if
You
one
know.
day you were ready to give your love to someone in the music industry, let's say, so somebody that could understand your mindset,
Where
who
we
would
are.
that musician be?
That's a tough one. Somebody that could match my passion.
Yes.
They're all dead.
Who?
Yeah.
Okay,
As
living
far
or
as,
dead?
as far as somebody that I admired, that I, you know, like
Living or dead?
Sade.
So Sade is alive.
That's
She's
what I'm
not
saying.
dead.
Like you said, living or dead. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's somebody that would understand the passion that I have. I've been in love before. I've enjoyed. Of course, I have a daughter, so I've been in relationships. You know, I've been spoiled with love all of my life. You know what I mean? Now it's time to focus to make the legacy better for my daughter and my family. You know,
Nice. I could feel that.
yeah,
I
but I'm a
understand that.
big love bug, so you know, I'm
Well,
totally,
ladies, there you go. He's a big love bug, and
yeah,
if you're kind of Sade-ish, he'll be checking for you.
yeah, and I'm a real man too, so you're gonna get all the romance, all of the, you know, it's just one of those things where I've been raised, you know, I've raised old school, so I have a lot of old school ways about me.
Now you say you're really interested now in focusing in on your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one message to give to your fans, or one thought that you'd like to leave with them, what would that be?
That would be to never give up. Stick with your passion and you'll never feel like you're doing any work. And trust the process. Be slow to anger. Learn to deal with disappointment. Those are the key elements. Use your use this chakra instead of this one. This is very hard and difficult to use. It's very powerful to be able to deal with emotions. And this is an industry that's full of emotions, especially now with social media and everything. It's like, look at me and this is what I'm doing. Stay focused. That's the best advice I can give you.
Speaking of social media, and that was great what you said, and I could really feel that. I love when you said use this chakra instead of this one. Stay away from the, don't get too emo.
Love is here.
Yeah. Well, you have to have love though when you create music.
That's true, but love is here. That's why you women carry babies. It's love. It's here. But this is life and logic over anything. You know, love is going to be there and it goes away. I'd rather have loyalty than love, you know, because somebody can fall out of love with you, like falling into love. But respect and loyalty are something that lasts, you know, for a while.
So if anybody wants to follow you, speaking of social media, where could they do that?
You can follow me on IG. I'm very low on social media, but you follow me on IG at RhythmD, RHYTHMD. That's it. Everything else is, you know, I don't really use it too much, but Instagram, I'm on there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Rhythm, for being here with us today.
Yes,
it was a
good to
pleasure
meet
to
you.
have you. Good to meet you
Yes.
and see you too.
Yes.
Well, there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this very special edition of Friday Live from PCC, and thank you for coming to our guest, Rhythm D.
Thank you for having me.
And you all listen, the show's not over yet. We'll be back right after this brief commercial break with the Spicy Cues coming up next. I want to do that one again. Well, this show's not over yet. We'll be back after this brief commercial break with the Spicy Cues coming up next.